Dear students, good evening and namaskar. You all are watching us on eVidya channel number 6 to 12 and our YouTube channel NCRT Official. And I am Kusum Prasad. This is our very special session. We call it Sahyog. In this particular section, we talk about mental well-being of the students, and we also try to provide to give psychosocial support. So in this session, we are talking about the topic is emotional impact of phishing and phishing security. And to discuss on this particular topic, our expert are Mrs. Janani Venugopal ma'am. Welcome ma'am. Namaskar ma'am. Janani ma'am, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है. Welcome ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am is a practicing counselor. And our next expert is Dr. Tehseen Taj ma'am. Welcome ma'am. Namaskar. Ma'am is RIE Mysuru NCRT. So before we start this session, I will tell you about all our various medium where you can contact us, you can give your feedbacks. So you all can contact on our phone number, that is 8800440559. You can note down, it's flashing on your TV screens, and you can also email us. Our email ID is DTH, our email ID is sahyog.ncrt@ciet.nic.in. And apart from this, you can also drop your messages, your questions, your feedback on our YouTube channel, that is NCRT Official. So let's begin today's session and we move to Dr. Tehseen ma'am. My very first question is, ma'am, what is phishing?
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. Good evening to everyone. And today we are going to discuss about the very important topic about as a phishing. So exactly what, let us understand what exactly the phishing is. So since we are going for a series of our sessions, Sahyog sessions, so previously it was discussed about the crime, cyber crime and all. So it is one of the type of cyber crime. Phishing is a cybercrime in which a target or targets are contacted by email, telephone or text message by someone pretending as an authorized institution. So it is to attract the individual and to provide sensitive data, like for example banking sector, or it may be identical information, and it may be credit cards, credit credentials, and even might be some passwords, or it may be like organization. They will identify the individual and the information. They want to get the information from that person. So the basic element of phishing attack is a message. So some message will be sent by a person which is a known person. It is sent by email, especially through email. It can be sent by social media or other electronic communication means. So phishing is among the biggest cyber threats facing organization. We can see nowadays the most of the organizations are facing this threat. According to Proofprint's report, in the year 2021, the state of phish report, more than 80% of organizations fell victim to a phishing attack last year. So one of the most frustrating thing about this is the most people know what phishing and how it is it work, but many still they get caught up on it. So like they are going to give their own information, a password or something which really some organizations are asking to them. So this is how the phishing attack or it may be the cyber crime is going to grow every day. One of the most frustrating thing about this is almost the people know what it is, but still they are not able to aware of this, how this scam is to be avoided. So, like a phisher, those who are going to scam, it may be use public resources, especially the social networks. So, when we are in a social networks, it will be a call when we are utilizing social networks or social sites. They will become across what the information we can collect as a fisher, what the information they can collect. So such these resources are used to gather information such as potential victim's name, job title, and email address, as well as interest and activities. So how we are very active in Facebook or it may be a social media or Twitter, anything. So those are very active in this kind of social platforms. They will identify and then try to retrieve these kind of information from the person. So the fisher can then use the information to create a reliable fake messages. So these are all we are from authentic information, or we are some authentic organization. We need some data so that we can help you. So basically, from these things, they can try to attack to your what personal data or something. So typically, the mails the victim receives appear to come from a known contact or organization. It doesn't look like that this is a spam message or something. It is completely they create, they should get like the messages which are getting from your mail, it is from known organizations, or it may be you or contacted with that. So such attacks are carried out through malicious attachment, like it may be some malware websites are there. So attackers often set up fake websites, so which appear to be owned by a trusted entity like the victim's banks, workplace, or other universities. So via these websites, attacks attempt to collect private information like username and the passwords or payment information. So, however, some phishing emails can be identified due to poor copywriting. So that we don't have any poor exact copywriting. So it may be identified as a poor copywriting and improper use of fonts like the logos and even the layout. However, many cyber criminals are becoming more sophisticated at creating authentic looking messages and are using professional marketing techniques to test and improve the effectiveness of their emails. Yes, ma'am. So these are all about exactly the phishing.
थैंक यू मैम, और आपने फिशिंग का डेफिनेशन बताई, एंड वी हैव टू वेरी केयरफुल ऑन सोशल नेटवर्क एंड सोशल साइट्स. माय नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज टू जननी वेणुगोपाल मैम. Ma'am, how is phishing is caused, ma'am?
Yes, thank you, Kusuma. Thank you, Tasin ma'am, for starting the session. Yes, we will. So Tasin ma'am had given the very, she had given the idea about what phishing is. So, like Tasin ma'am rightly pointed out, phishing is obtaining sensitive information like username, password, bank accounts, and credit card details. So, how it could be done? So, how do we get phished by the attackers? Is what we are going to see now. So let us take children. In the PPT, the thing you are watching in the right side of the PPT are the few techniques that we are using, that the attackers are using for phishing, like social engineering, website spoofing, email spoofing, clickjacking, tab napping, instant messaging, and phone call. So let us understand each and every category now. So what is social engineering? Social engineering we use in many places where cyber threat is being done with the help of social media. So here social engineering is one technique that the cyber attackers use for phishing. So how does it happen? So you might have seen in the previous slide when Tasin ma'am had shown you, like you had seen a phishing needle, right? Where you could see the how fishers actually used to get fishes from the pond. This is the very similar way, like you might have seen you might have the idea of that in the fishing needle. We will use to hook some worm to get many fishes, right? So the target is in social engineering is not probably one individual. It could be like whoever comes, they may become a victim or a prey here. So in that way, social engineering, what the attackers do is that, so they will try to impersonate someone. So like ma'am said, they will speak nicely to you, but at last they will get the information from you, from yourself, and they will try to bluff us. So this is social engineering. And what is website spoofing and email spoofing? So the general meaning of spoofing is that, like we have many popular TV programs or movies we might have seen. So the copying of such popular programs, and by exaggerating the same thing, we call it as spoofing. The similar technique is followed here in website spoofing and email spoofing also. So probably when you are working on some assignments, you would have opened many tabs for writing assignments, right? So while we will keep many tabs for assignments, in the sense like you, I mean, so apart from that, we are so much involved in shopping also, right? At this age, you might have frequently visiting Amazon and all, right? So if you are opening a tab, right, Amazon.com, so you may have some information that looks like the site will look like Amazon.com only. You will see everything there as Amazon.com, where if you click that page, you will be directed to some other page and your information will be hacked by the attacker. This is website spoofing. And email spoofing is similar to that technique, wherein there we used to click web pages. Here you are clicking the email that you are receiving, right? Wherein you will lose your personal information by entering some log. They may ask you to enter, log into the site using your Google account. So in that way we will be hacked. And clickjacking. Clickjacking is other technique. Like this is also like the name specifies. Jacking, you know, the word which we are using is like hijacking. So the information will be hijacked from us. In which way? So you will have multiple buttons. Let us say that you are submitting an assignment, right? So you are checking your knowledge level in some online pages. So when you are, after attending some 10 multiple choice question, if you are clicking submit button, so you will see that submit button as submit only, but behind that there will be some link mapped with that, wherein on clicking the submit button you will be hijacked. Your information will be hijacked. How you have entered to that website, what username login you would have used. All these hackers will have as database, and that will be used whenever it is required. And tab napping. So what is tab napping? Tab napping, so napping again, it's the general meaning. Like napping, we say when napping is the, when we used to sleep for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, we say, right? Say that, right? Napping. So similar to that, tab napping is if you want to click some tabs. So for example, like I have told you an example that when you are writing assignments, you will have the habit of opening multiple tabs, right? Like we will refer each and every page, 10 to 12 pages, we keep it open. So for a long time, we may not visit some tabs also. Like let us say somebody have the habit of listening to music also while writing the assignment. So they may open Spotify also, right? And sometimes it may go idle. So most of the tabs which we are not visiting for a long time may go idle. So it will go for nap stage. So at that time what the hackers do is they will, some pop-ups you will see wherein you will be asked to log in again. So we may think that we are logged out from that page and we will have to enter again. So you will give your information like username, password, and again we are hacked. And that is tab napping. So instant messaging is a technique where you might have seen many things like that through WhatsApp or SMS messaging and all. So this instant messaging is a technique which we may call it as smishing also. That is, with the help of SMS they are hacking. Okay, phishing is being done with the help of SMS. So this technique is also called as smishing, where you will receive messages like saying that offer is going on in Flipkart, or you may get very good offers if you go and visit this page, right? So when you are impressed on seeing the message, and if you click these messages, again we are being hacked there. And phone call, this type of phishing we also call it as phishing, meaning voice, phishing through voice. So it may be they may call us and to press some buttons, because of that we may be hacked. So these are the techniques that we are using, that the attackers are using for hacking us. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Janani ma'am. I want to know from Dr. Tehseen ma'am that how does phishing cause emotional impact on students, ma'am?
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. Of course, when once the data is getting from us and it is we come to know that it is stolen, ultimately it is an emotional attack. It plays on our emotions and tricks us into doing something we wouldn't normally do when we are concentrating on our best. The emotional and psychological impact following the losses related to cybercrime can range from mild to severe and lead to symptoms of like depression, anxiety, panic attacks, or it may be post-traumatic stress and even suicidal attempts. So because is their information has been lost and they are not able to retrieve that. Once it is stolen, they are not able to retrieve for that. So further intensified by numerous psychological losses related to finances, employment, family, since these are all the personal information are there. So since we discussed about that emotional trauma, can you go for the previous slide for the emotional trauma? Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much. So emotional trauma is nothing but this is the emotional stress maybe stem not only from stolen data itself, but also from ways to cyber criminal might use the data. Like it maybe they can use for any other purpose, which is not quite good for themselves. So these criminals may use email threats to expose the cybercrime victims. When online victims experience a cybercrime such as cyber trauma, it can be life changing. And the next one also we can see guilt and shame. So this can be a very guilt and shame for that. However, victims might not report cybercrimes such as phishing attack and email malware. So they might blame themselves for reasons such as weak cybersecurity. So such shame and guilt can result from victim blaming in which victims blame themselves for online crime. These events can could cause for the victims to go to offline also. It might be possibilities that they will not use like any other social websites or social networking. And even they are also feeling of helplessness. So helpless there, they might cause the victim to become isolated or suffocated. They might even decide to quit social media as I go offline, as I before told that, altogether to avoid more digital scams or crimes. So meanwhile, learned helplessness. They are completely helplessness. So it can result from people feeling repeated or it may be a stressful or uncontrollable. So this condition causes them not to control mechanism. So when they are available, even they could prevent cyber crimes also. And even eating disorders. So that it is maybe a eating disorders like it may be a stress, anger, fear, sadness, and loneliness. So such physical effects also which can come as a person's physical and well-being and also as well as the mental well-being. So this situation often causes the people to eat food like it may be high in calories. So that means they are not able to check whether what they are doing. So it may be they are not able to eat and even it may be overeating of that. So it can be cause obesity also. So such situation will arise like they are becoming as a cybercrime victim. So being a victim of such softwares, it may also cause individuals to do impulsive actions like what the stress they are experiencing from the cyber crimes, which also trigger other compulsive behaviors such as alcohol, drug abuse, studies. So most of the studies which have shown this is what for experience stress. Also the sleep disorders. So being a cybercrime victim can become a vicious cycle so that you might be unable to get a full-time night sleep because it is always a fear of that what my data will be happen and how it can be used. So it is once stolen. If you get that, you are become a victim. You are very worried of that about your situation. So this sleeplessness is due to higher level of stress of hormones. The emotional, cognitive, behavior, and physical symptoms of falling a victim to a cybercrime. This can include like a feeling of depressed, sad, anxiety, guilty, ashamed, demoralized, and anger. So common feeling also can include feeling betrayed, so powerless, sort of control and vulnerable. So these behavioral symptoms can include like isolation, withdrawal, reduced interest in activities, and even the physical symptoms can include like headaches, muscle tension, so loss of confidence, reduction of self-esteem. So there will be no self-esteem, headaches, so overthinking because of your overthinking, eating disorder as I said before, not feeling safe. So in this digital age, the likelihood of cyber attacks has increased exponentially. So as more people spend more time online, they don't know where they are getting involved in that data, how they are sharing the data with another one. So simply just getting the email, they are just forwarding to anyone, or just giving their credentials or passwords to someone. So becoming a victim of cybercrime can trigger emotional responses. Emotional. So if you become victim, it is crucial to take security precautions. Talk to your loved ones about your experiences, how it happened, what it happened, and it can be a constant seeking help from the mental health professionals too. So like this, it is in most of the people they will think even the basic security if they have also they will get like they will come under as a corporate phishing. So because maybe some of the they don't have proper corporate issues. So this truth is tough. Is there any other times what times they are going through? What is the stress they are trying? All this we can see now when once we know that we are victim.
Yes,
Ma'am.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Tehseen ma'am. My last question is for Janani ma'am. Ma'am, what are the ways to prevent phishing? It's a very important question, ma'am.
Yes, yes, definitely. So we should protect ourselves from phishing to avoid such mental traumas. So first we will have to learn to identify phishing. Like Amazon.com, if we have the site. So sometimes you might have seen if they decided to do phishing. So you will have it as amazon.com or m.com at the last. So some spelling mistakes, if we receive email also, the if you look something it is fishy, like we say, right? So if we see the spelling mistake itself, we should understand or we should be careful before clicking the mails or attachments. So the attachments which we are receiving from such mails will be malware or spyware which may hack our system. So if we have any doubts with the sender, we will have to check with different mediums. So if we are receiving some email or if the sender is just sending SMS only, like click this or send me rupees 1000 an emergency. So if you notice that something looks fishy, you will have to contact them through other medium to confirm whether that is the person. Because here in phishing, the method followed is impersonification, like they will act as our known member, like the Sinman said. So we should be very careful about unknown sender or if we have any doubts on the sender. The next one is to avoid disclosing personal information. We should never disclose any of our personal information unless it is very authenticated or any known person. Avoid falling into false sense of security. That is, you might have seen many pop-ups saying that your antivirus has been expired. So click here to click here to renew. So they are taking us the advantage of being we will fall as victim when we see the security issues and all. So that's the reason they are following all these techniques with the help of security thing. Then be skeptical. We will have to think before doing anything. We will have to raise why questions. Should I click this or not? So what will happen if I do this? So we will have to ponder for answers. Then raising phishing awareness. We should know in what ways phishing are happening and we should be aware of the techniques that the hackers are following. Then always we are advised to enable firewall and you will have to use updated software to avoid all these things. Then it is better to have two-factor authentication or mobile authentication. So nowadays you might have seen that two-factor authentication has become very popular, that once if you log in from other laptop you will be asked to click yes it is me in your mobile. So you will receive a mail saying you will have to click yes it is me, or if it is not you, you will have to say no. So these authentication are very important so that hackers will not access very easily your information. We should not trust any unsecure sites. Unsecure sites meaning you might have seen in the web page HTTPS. So if that S is for secure. Okay, so if you see HTTP, if you are clicking such pages, you may be warned that this website is not secured to proceed. In that case, it is better to avoid not to access such websites. So we should never click pop-ups that is appearing very frequently. It may take to any pages which is not necessary for us. Then we will have to use spam filter. If we feel that some messages which is appearing or which you are receiving in your mail is not appropriate for us, you can mark it as spam, or you can report it as spam, and so that you will not receive such mails again. Then we can even block the user, and then we should definitely avoid using public network, because you students will definitely have the habit of using public network, get hotspot connections wherever is available to play your games or to listen music or to access any information. So let us better avoid using public network, and let's be safe from all these cyber threats.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Janani ma'am, and thank you, Dr. Tehseen Taj ma'am, for providing us information on phishing to our students. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
And thank you, dear students and learners, for connecting to eVidya channel and watching us. So it's time to say goodbye. So take care and have a nice day. Namaskar.